And then I got pulled in for like interrogation or something. And the guy was just grilling me. He was like, what do you do? And I was like, I make YouTube videos.
This week we're in New York City with Jason Vong and Vivienne talking about what it's like to be a full-time YouTuber and also location-independent world travelers.
So my name is Jason Vong. I run a YouTube channel on hybrid shooting. I primarily shoot with the Sony camera, so I do a lot of reviews, tutorials based around the Sony Alpha cameras. And currently we are doing 1 year of being digital nomads with my girlfriend, Vivienne. Yeah, so one of the challenge is, being nomadic, you don't have a studio anymore. So we've sort of just turned our kitchen counter into a sort of studio set. So yeah, we got lights, we got mics. Oh Lord, okay, yeah. We were joking, she was probably gonna trip on something and just something that's just gonna poke her eyes out. Yeah, but I mean, we're trying to take advantage of that nice, gorgeous view. You know, when we're shooting during sunset, oh, it's just so gorgeous. Because you're seeing in the video that the light is just shifting from like blue and yellow to orange to night. It's just beautiful. So I love the set that we kind of constructed here. I don't know, that's a good question. I knew I always wanted to do like camera stuff, like filming skits and shorts video. I remember doing it with my buddies back in like high school where we have to do like history projects, and the final would be like, oh, why don't you just do like a recreation of the wars in the US. We would even do like these like machinimas, Halo, we would do all these things and combine like a fun video. So that's sort of like my interest, how my interest got started. And then with the advent of YouTube back in like what, 2005 was it? A lot of these skits, these videos, they come on and we're just like, wow, I want to do something like this. So yeah, I would say ever since I was like a teenager, I've always wanted to do something with online videos. I feel like my parents are still kind of like not really sure what I'm doing, but I look like I'm doing enough, like good enough for myself that they're like, okay, you're fine. But then yeah, I had that struggle. My parents were like, why don't you go back to school after college? I went to college for like film. They're like, why don't you go back and be an accountant? Why don't you just like go back to community college and just like study? And I was like, no, I think I'm gonna stick this out and see what happens. And a funny story, as we were talking earlier, how like I got stopped by US Customs. We were coming back from Japan and we like got into Vancouver in Canada. And then it was like, but it was still like US Customs for some reason. So she was in front of me and she got cleared and she walked off. And then I got like pulled in for like interrogation or something. I was coming off from the plane. I had a fever and the guy was just grilling me. He was like, what do you do? And I was like, I make YouTube videos. And this is like the time that I just started going full time and I had like zero income coming from YouTube. And I was like, I make YouTube videos. He was like, if I looked you up right now, would I be able to find you? And I was like, yeah, I think so. I was like, oh yeah, my girlfriend, she just walked through. He's like, oh, she's your girlfriend, right? And he was like, well, it's time to get serious, find a real job. And I was like, man, fuck you, dude. And he was like, oh, well, you're a YouTuber. Is she supportive of that? And I was like, yeah, I think so. Yeah, this guy was just like, oh, giving me such a hard time. But yeah, it's good now. We're in a good place now, I say. So currently we're doing the whole digital nomad thing for 1 year. I think since the pandemic, we're just like, why don't we just kind of give this a shot? We weren't traveling for a year. So wouldn't it be cool to like live in like different places every couple of months or so? We're just kind of chilling. We're having a good time. I mean, we were in Paris, we were in London, and now we're in New York. We're supposed to be in New York for only a month, but we're extending our stay just because we've just been having a blast. And I think a couple weeks ago, we were just talking about it. We're like, do we miss home? Have we thought about like our old apartment? And we're just like, honestly, no. So it's just been a lot of fun. Every morning, I just like sit in front of my computer at like 7 a.m. I'm just like, all right, what YouTube video do I have to make this week? We never try to like take projects from like brands that like pitch us an idea. It just becomes inauthentic then. A lot of brands sort of understand that. They shouldn't intervene too much when it comes to the process of the video idea. So I think we've been very blessed to have all the creative controls, shooting and working or around the clock. But we've recently hired an editor, which has been amazing for us. Thank you, Dylan. And we've actually are ahead of schedule with the whole YouTube stuff now. We actually have 2 videos done. That's amazing. So I'm really happy about that. So we're back here in New York. There's this video that I did with my friend, Professor Hines.
The ultimate guide to street photography.
On shirts,
with Professor Hans.
And it was like, what, 2019 or right before the pandemic. We shot a video. It's just like a very simple video because I saw his presentation on street photography. And he did this presentation at Photo Plus at the Zeiss booth. And I was watching and I was just really admiring his work. And I was just like, you know, that guy has literally made a YouTube video without actually shooting it. So then one night we were at dinner, at a Zeiss dinner, and I was like, hey, you know, why don't we do a collab together? Why don't we, you know, why don't I feature you on my channel? And we didn't think anything of it, right? We're just like, maybe this video would do like 30,000, 50,000 views or anything like that. 2 years later, it's 1.4 million views, and we're just like, what the? You know, 2020 pandemic hit, we weren't able to make that happen, and now 2 years later, we're finally getting back together to do something out here in New York, his prime spot. So we're doing a full process video, down to the gear, to the shoot, to the edit. So it's gonna be a long form video that we're gonna be publishing on my YouTube channel. So we're really excited to do this right now. I don't like miking her sometimes. Her hair just like brushes up on the mic.
I am wrapped in a burrito. So my name is Vivienne and I work with Jason, who you saw earlier, on our YouTube channel. We're like, I call ourselves bougie digital nomads. Like we're nomadic and we're kind of traveling around everywhere because we kind of are like city hopping. We still need like a nice place and a little bougie is what I like to say. So I love traveling to different places to really take in like the culture, the food, and really like the people. I think it's very interesting. We've made a lot of friends while we're traveling and it's just really fun to like meet people. Everyone has very different backstories, and my favorite thing to do every time I go to any new country, any new place is just kind of ask like about their society and their customs and how like it affects like little culture norms that they have in their place. And it's just really fun to kind of contrast with what we're used to. And I feel like in doing that, it kind of opens up our view of the world and it makes us a lot more like understanding and a lot more compassionate. So that's, I think, the biggest benefit of traveling to me. It's just really understanding that there is a lot more out there than like just us in our little bubble. I never really saw the potential. Like I learned all of this, like shooting, brand deals, all of this stuff, like when we started working together. So I think the more as I dive in, the more I'm realizing like, yeah, this is a lot of work. It's definitely a full job. If anything, I feel like even though we are like freelance or our own bosses, I feel like we work more than usual because in a sense, like we don't really have a stopping point. Like you have to be your own stopping point. So I mean, I see Jason all the time. We'll just work until like nighttime and we'll be like, oh yeah, it's like 10 o'clock. We should probably stop working. And you know, weekends are all over the place, but I wouldn't ask for it any other way.
You know, don't be afraid to experiment with different platforms because I know there were a few friends of mine that were trying to get into the YouTube space years ago when I was also trying to get into it, but they didn't find success on YouTube. But funny enough, a lot of them found success on TikTok. So whether or not you're starting off on one platform, don't be afraid to, you know, try out different platforms because you never know which platform you will actually succeed in. So if you're feeling discouraged about not making it on YouTube or not making it on Instagram, like always be on a constant lookout for like what's the next hot social media because you might be able to pop up there than you would in the current platform that you think you want success in. Because we were kind of stuck at home back in LA for like almost 2 years that I feel creatively juiced out. And you know, I just wasn't really happy with the content that I was making. It was just hard, you know. And there was a couple of videos that you see from the last one we released. We were in London, we were in Paris, and you know, it's the same, almost the same type of format, but because it was like at a different spot, that you can see the excitement in the video, right? And when I'm personally very excited, I think the audience is also very excited to see the video. So a lot of the stuff that we've been making out here, I've just been in a much better place, headspace-wise, and it's been fun, you know? Yeah.